Hey, everybody, it's me, Mark Wiggins. Welcome to King Conversation, where we talk about men stuff, the stuff that's interesting to me and other men, because we don't have these conversations anywhere else. We cover a variety of topics. We cover emotions. We cover raising daughters. And today we have on music producer, movie producer, film producer, a music person, editor, chief. His bio is like right here. It's long. I have brother Tykeem with me. Tykeem is no, and he's a well-renowned brother, I tease, but he's got a lot of great stuff going on. We're going to talk about his newest projects that are out, what he's doing and what he's up to. And I think his word for the men who are listening to this and the women who listen to learn more about their men will learn something from what this good brother's talking about. Brother Tykeem, how are you today, sir?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me, as always.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So tell the people a bit more about yourself. I don't do bios justice because I like to hear from my guests. So you can tell us what's current with you and what you want us to know.
Well, as you, I know you didn't get a chance to go into the bio, but just some brief points. In, I went from playing football and stuff, and it ended really fast. It ended as soon as it started. I actually made it to the NFL, but an injury ended it like almost instantly. After that, I was signed to Warner Brothers as a recording artist. I had videos and stuff on BT, the box back then, and I did tours with Chico DeBarge, Joe, Usher. Since then, I've done several TV shows. The three movies I have out is the Jason's Letter with Vivica Fox and the big guy from Blindside, Quentin Aaron. He's in that movie. That's been out for about 3.5 years now. It's been on every major platform. I have a new movie out now called When George Got Murdered, starring Montel Williams and Beanie Siegel and Donnie Most. Donnie Most played Ralph Malph on Happy Days. He plays the primary prison guard in this movie. I have a new movie coming out soon called Abuse with a huge cast: Stephen Baldwin, James Russo, Angie Stone, Tony Sirico, Terry Vaughn. It's a huge list of people, and that'll be out soon. That'll be out probably sometime in the spring of this year of 2023. Since then, I've just been doing projects and just trying to stay busy. I'm working on a TV show called Behind the Mix that we're in negotiations with Viacom to probably have that air on MTV2. And I'm actually getting ready to start a podcast with a little bit of downtime. I never really have downtime, but this is just for me, this is considered downtime. So I'm not really doing any huge movie projects except for the ones that I've already started that I'm doing a little bit of work on here and there because they're pretty much done. One of the movie I got brought in on a comedy, which I usually don't do. I usually do movies on social justice or the abuse of women and children. Those are my wheelhouse kind of projects I love to do. But I'm working on this comedy called The Apartment Building. So until that's finished, I'm gonna have some time. So I'm gonna start working on this podcast. It's called Word for Word. It's a podcast where people get to critique some of the biggest records in the history of the game, and I'm gonna let the fans do it. It's gonna be really tight how we're gonna do it. So, and we're gonna do it with like a maybe 5 to 7, more like a 6 to 8 camera setup. It's gonna be really nice. Yeah, it's gonna be really nice. So we're gonna have like between 6 to 10 guests on every time we do it, judging and critiquing these records. Each song we'll get a chance to go head to head. We've already locked in Jennifer Holliday, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Trey Songz. We're gonna pick the artists. They're gonna go head to head with one of their songs, and the people in the gallery are gonna get a chance to critique these songs that people have listened to over the years. And there's different segments. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun doing this podcast. So because I had a little bit of time, like I said, to do it, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Awesome. Where is that shooting at? Where are you gonna shoot that? The music?
Oh, we're gonna shoot that over. The podcast?
No, not is that the podcast? I thought you were having people in the studio. I'm confusing TV show with podcast.
Yeah, the podcast. Yeah, the podcast is we're building a studio over in Jersey right now as we speak.
In Jersey.
And we're gonna shoot it in Jersey. We're gonna bring our guests in there. Some of the bigger names are gonna come, but a lot of them are gonna be Skyped in or Zoomed in, and they're gonna go back and forth with the people in the gallery there. So it's gonna be pretty cool how we're gonna do it.
Oh, okay, well, let me know that. I would love to rep Jersey and cover that for the magazine just to talk about that. That'd be hot.
Oh, most definitely.
And I also heard you in the movie. You ran down the movie. I can't remember the name, but it's got my frat brother in it. You got Montel. Montel is a frat brother of mine. And
Montel's he's in my movie When George Got Murdered. That's the film that I did. Yeah, it's the film that I did that it takes you through the day that those few days after George Floyd got murdered, but it takes you it takes a look at it from the inside of the jail where that boy
Mm.
Derek Chauvin that killed George Floyd was sent. It takes you inside of it from that standpoint. So that's been out for about maybe like about 6-7 months now. It's
Okay.
on Amazon, Tubi, Apple TV. It's on a few things right now. So yeah, it's been out for a while. So we just finally got the distributor was taking us through it, but they finally sent us our first check from it. So
Look,
yeah,
that's coming.
that shows
That's
it.
coming. Well, bro,
Yeah.
let's roll back. So we're talking King conversation. Let's talk about you had the dreams and aspirations to be in the NFL. You got injured. Had you always had a bend towards artistic bend for music and for film, or did that develop over time? What sent you in that direction?
Well, I had got to know so many people over the years, and I knew that once I wasn't playing football, that I needed to figure out something I wanted to do. So I said, you know what? I was already doing stuff because when I was in school, I studied theater arts and things like that. So I knew I was going to end up doing something in the industry. So after the football stuff ended, I started directly back doing my music. And I put a couple records out that did really well around the country, and videos got played nationally and things like that. And I got a chance to go on some of these huge tours and things like that. But I always wanted to still, like during that time frame, I always wanted to do the films and TV projects. So I just eventually just gravitated towards it, and I just used my contacts to get some of these bigger name actors and recording artists to act in my project. So it kind of really flowed naturally when you
Mhm.
really get down to it.
You get down to it. So when you run into your NFL players and other young men out here, do you talk to them about having a life after sports or after your thing? Because like you said, we all talk about it. I played basketball, not in the league, but I played, and we all talk about it can be over just like it started. And we never think
Yeah.
at the end. So are you talking to other Kings about having a plan B, C, and D? Or are you when you run into them?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I tell them all the time. I said, listen, man, you got to have something there else that you want to do because yeah, this shit. Listen, it could end at any moment, and a lot of these cats they don't be prepared for it. So I'm always talking to them, man. Make sure you make sure you got something else in mind that you want to do because if you don't, it will it will consume you, and before you know it, you won't have any kind of backup. And if you don't have any backup, man, you're just gonna be out here swimming upstream,
Wow.
and it's a major downside to that. So I tell people all the time, man, you got to really be ready and prepared for the afterlife. And that's what I was doing, preparing myself to get ready to do some stuff that I want to do down the line. And I started learning different things as I was going about being behind the camera as opposed to being in front of it.
Mm.
So, and it really helped me out when I was prepared to get ready to. When I was finally ready after getting prepared to do things behind the camera as opposed to being in front of it and being out on the field.
That's what's up. Is there any difference
Yeah.
between the two? Talking about preparation and the mindset. What's the contrast compare between sports life and what you do now?
It's a major contrast, man. The contrast is like it's like with sports, you gotta really get geared in and focused in because the thing about it, if you're not, it will. You're not prepared for anything devastating that could happen, and anything devastating could happen at any moment. I mean, we just saw the thing with the Marhem.
Mm.
He's like it's just a regular tackle, just really just turned into something different. Just changed his whole life around.
Real different.
And I tell people all the time, man, you got to be prepared for that kind of stuff because that stuff come along with the territory. So if you ain't prepared for it, man, and then when it happens and stuff, you don't have any you don't have any backup, you don't have anything in place to get yourself ready to move to the next phase. And that's been the case with a lot of athletes in the past. There's a lot of guys who I've known, man, that made way more money than I did in the NFL and the NBA who I'm friends with. And these guys ain't got no money now. And it's sad, but it's just the reality of it.
What do you think is that part? I mean, not the preparation, but why is it still a thing? Now, back in the 80s and it was not uncommon. The dude kept the money, whatever. But to still hear this in 2022, 3, that this is still an issue.
Yes.
What is the holdup? What's going on with the brothers up there?
Oh no, man. And it's like it's crazy because you try to you think that some people would learn from other people's mistakes, but
Right.
that ain't been the case, man. Like guys in their preparation for like after sports, man, it's just been insane. Like for me, like I said, I never really got a chance to play that long. I played in all 4 preseason games. I had several interceptions, so I signed my contract. So I signed the contract and got hurt in the 4th preseason game, but they still had to pay me almost just over $800,000.
Right.
And I used that money to really set myself up. You know, but if I know if I would have played that year, I would have made like I think like 4.8. But I ended up making $800,000, a little bit over that, and you know, after taxes, I walked away with maybe like around like 700,000, something like that.
Right.
But I mean, it was crazy, man. But I mean, I was like, I got lucky in that sense that I did sign an agreement, because there's a lot of guys who never even signed their contracts, and they get hurt. And the NFL is just a scumbag organization. I mean, most people don't realize it's a horrible business model for a professional league. I mean, if these guys don't play 3 years, if they get hurt, they don't get no kind of medical benefits or nothing. You got to be in the league at least 3 years. And then if you don't, you get hurt, they just like, okay, well, that's on you. And that has to change. So this DeMar Hamlin thing is probably getting ready to change a lot of that. Exactly. Because now these guys, this thing is getting like, these guys are not going for that no more, because it's like, like you probably talk about the most dangerous sport. And I mean, grown men at like, at the least 190, maybe some guys might be 180, some guys up to like close to 350, 360, running into each other at full speed. You know what I mean? So,
cool. Yeah, and it's just the whole environment of it all, and the business aspect of it, and we'll delve here for a hot second. But to watch my dude up at Baltimore basically, run his whole contract and tell him what he ain't gonna do and this, that, and the third, and he's sitting out to protect himself. Fans are mad at that, but business people are like, yeah, that's a good move, because you didn't want to give the money when Baldwin should give him the money point blank. You've done all this work for me, like you said. What else I got to prove to get some? You get Watson money. That was just a unique case. I'm a Browns fan. I don't know how I feel about it, but that's not my money. But it set the standard. And these young athletes, particularly our young King athletes out here, are getting smarter with business and doing business. If you follow what Magic, LeBron is doing right now, they hate that he can do what he does. But he makes the money he makes the business decisions, he's diverse, he does what he's going to do. And we should be applauding that and studying it.
That's right.
One of my biggest beefs is that he tells you I spend over $1 million a year on my body. Zion, stroke a check. I mean, get his people, get a reference, get some, why aren't more of us doing that to look like that and do like that, and then sit down and do masterclass? You think he did that all? He called Magic, he called Jordan, he talked to Warren Buffett. You have those accesses now because of what your status is. But you're not.
When you mentioned Baldwin, you talking about Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the Baltimore quarterback. He won't sit out, and he's hurt, and I hope he gets his money, and I hope he's not hurt that bad. But I don't think he's gonna be in Baltimore next year. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think so. And good for him. Do your business, sir. Do your business.
That's right. Because they're gonna use you up. They're gonna listen. I tell dudes all the time. I tell a lot of athletes, man, they are going to use you up, because number one, they just look at you as just okay. The thing for right now, they know that it's another kid running around somewhere that's getting ready to go to college, and they're gonna bring him in and use him up. Like I said, the NFL, right? I don't think most people really understand that league. That whole system is the essence of like a plantation kind of situation, yo. It's like, it's the craziest thing y'all want to see, yo. They put the capital P on plantation, man, and and you gotta remember, all these owners are like kind of like Nazi kind of guys and stuff, and it's like they just look at most of them are racist and stuff like that, and they got that kind of mentality from a business standpoint. That's like, okay, I'm gonna use you up as much as I possibly can. So a lot of the guys need, like you say, they need to go and get their money, do your business, get your money, man. Because once they use you up, they just gonna spit you right back out and bring something. They're gonna keep recycling them in. But the thing about it, though, it's up to these guys, man, to really start to really speak up, man. Because if the players would have stood up when Colin Kaepernick, if more players would have stood up and said, listen, man, you can't just sweep this man out the league. If they would have stood behind him, they wouldn't have been able to sweep that man out the league, and then they wouldn't have been so emboldened to do the stuff that they've been doing since then. Yep. Because we already know we can count. I mean, you know how they say, because like a lot of my friends, we talked about this. They say that crazy shit about saying something like, well, we go to war with each other on Sundays. Okay, well, if you go to war with each other, you should go to war with each other over everything that happens in their life, because you can count on one hand the white players who stood up with the black players during that whole Colin Kaepernick situation. Literally, you can count on one hand the white players that stood with them guys. And that goes to show you, man, that they don't care about y'all issues.
They're making comments on Capitol Hill about it. You basically, y'all get back to work. You know what I'm saying? You're messing up.
That's right.
And y'all take this, and it's still peanuts what they're paying them. 250 mil. Oh, are you serious? 250 mil.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Nothing. It's a write-off. But I digress. But yeah, I appreciate you sharing that wisdom for these
kings who are
trying to go to this next level, to hear from somebody who went there and now you pivoted and are very successful in what you do. Which kind of leads me to the next part. We talk about your current release, Abused. You mentioned earlier that you have a bend towards social justice and men's and women's issues. How did you get there? What sent you in that space?
Well, as far as the social justice, like getting caught up in the system and things, me and my partners had a body shop, and we knew that there was a lot of stuff going on, like the auto body business, and we knew these Italian people had all of these shops, and they was doing all of this stuff over the years, and we knew that nobody messed with them. But then once the black people, like me and my partner, owned a body shop, they started coming at us like we was like murderers or something like that. Wow. Didn't mess with none of these white-owned body shops, and it really woke me up to what the whole racist thing was, because I was one of those people, man, that I mean, I never really loved the police, but you know, I never really understood why people put them in like such a hate category until I experienced it. And I found out the hard way that everybody was right about these cops. Like, because even when we was younger, even like when we was younger, they used to beat us up, and we used to watch them frame guys. But I just felt like it was like certain people they was doing it to. It wasn't until I got into the system that I realized that, this is just what they do. You know, it's just skewed against people of color. And because I'm watching people do all kind of crazy stuff. And there was this one guy that was in there. We now remember they arrested us for a white collar crime. And we had to fight, pay money to get out of this thing about the guys. And it was really about the guys that worked for us at our body shop. But since we owned it, we got caught up in it. But it really, it treated us like we was murderers and stuff. And I remember I was there, and they had this guy that was in there, this pedophile, and they knew he had raped all these people. And you saw all the guards, all the cops being friendly with this guy, and treating him with kid gloves. I'm like, wait a minute, this dude just raped a bunch of juveniles, and y'all know this, but talking all harshly to us. It really opened me up to that, man. It made me understand that I need to be a voice against this mess, because that's just what it is. This is mess. And that's what brought me, that's what really opened my eyes to the whole legal system thing, actually getting caught up in it. Like it wasn't no big deal what, from a standpoint how we got caught up in it. But I think it was meant to happen for me to learn about how corrupt and how slanted it was against people of color. And I think that was meant to happen to me, for me to really get a glimpse of what this shit was really about. But as far as the abuse of women and children, I watched my mom get beat up all the time because my mom died when I was 10, but I used to watch her with these men. These men used to beat her up, and I remember this one man used to beat her up. She was dealing with him and everything, and my uncle told him to leave my mom alone, and he started beating my mom up again. And my uncle came and beat this man to death with a hammer. And my uncle they arrested him, but he beat the case because he was protecting her. So that kind of blew me away. Watching that whole thing like that, and then since then I've seen so many women be abused and children be abused. So I became an advocate for that. So those are my two primary. And plus, like I think after my mom died, I got caught up. I went through the foster care system, group homes and foster care, but I was a street kid, and me being a street kid is probably what saved me, because I was able to fight off all of these predators and these people, what I'm saying. But I watched so many other kids be abused because they weren't like me. They weren't able to fight it off. And I knew when I got older, I wanted to be a voice for it. So between that and the stuff I witnessed with my mom, that's what really made me want to bring more attention to the abuse of women and children. Just from experiences. And now I'm really passionate about that issue and social justice. Those are the two issues that I'm really passionate about.
So talk about a little bit more about abuse. Give us the backdrop on what it is. I watched the trailer. It seems kind of interesting. Kind of seems like it's a hard twist in here, but of course you didn't give it away. But tell us more about abuse.
Yeah. Well, Abuse is a it's a film about these six people. They were lured to this college by this James Russo. I'm gonna tell you something, right? If right now we're negotiating with Lionsgate to distribute the film. If Lionsgate do the right thing and push this the right way, James is gonna get nominated for some awards for this film because he took that madman. Yo, he took that thing to a whole nother level. He took that shit to the level of like close to like Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Right. He did look a little off on that.
Yeah, he embodied that psycho madman role. And but what it is that he lures these six people to a college, but what they don't know is that he's married to their therapist. And he knows that each of these people have not come to terms with being abused as children. He knows this. So and he lures them in to watch this film, and he pays them. And since they haven't come to terms with being abused as being abused as children, they're watching this film and they start having all these adverse reactions to watching this film about people who are being abused. But the thing that what people, I'm going to say more, and I've said more during the interviews, the film that they're watching, I did a film about maybe like going on 6 years ago now, called Touched, and I never released it. And that film has a lot of those huge stars, and I never released it. So the film that they're sitting there watching inside of the abuse film is the Touched film.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So I get to finally release this film, and yeah. But the Touch film is more of a documentary and more talk about the harshness of the issue of child sexual abuse and people who abuse as children and as teenagers, things like that. But and I couldn't really touch it like I wanted, so because people still look at that issue as being topic. I mean, the shit is a pandemic, but you're still looking at it as being taboo. You know what I'm saying? It's happening in almost every other home. But people are still, because they want to bury this kind of stuff. So I said to myself, you know what? In order for me to get people to watch, I got to turn this movie into a thriller. So this abuse film is a thriller, and it's so intense. And the way we did it, we made it really, with the violence kind of stuff. Him putting knives to the he puts this there's a paper opener inside the room where he's at with Claudia Jordan and the other lady that are in the room with him, to his two assistants. And when they try to leave, he takes this paper cutter and he sticks it. You can see it penetrating her face right underneath her eye, and it's a crazy scene.
Wow.
But yeah, this movie is it's going to cause a lot of conversations once this movie is released.
Oh, absolutely, definitely, and I'm here for it. So let's talk about. You also released again, because you produce music. You talked about your experience in that. You released a song "Don't Give Up" featuring you and Angie Stone. Talk to me about that and tell the Kings what this song's about. Because I listened to it a couple times to get the essence of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I love it. And this explained to the audience what it is.
It's the first single from the Abuse film. You're going to hear it, and the way we put it in the scene we put it in the film is great. How we put it in the film, there's a scene where one of the six people who that James Russo lures to the college campus, he's sitting in his car and he says, it's the song I listen, because he's talking to Claudia Jordan, who's giving him directions how to get there, and he's saying, it's a song I listen to all the time, and it really gets me going every day. So it's the Abuse song. It's the song "Don't Give Up" in my film Abused, and "Don't Give Up" is a song about, man, I don't care what you're going through in your life, which we all are going through something. I don't care what nobody tell you, do not give up. And Angie came into the studio and she blessed the record, and so far everybody we've sent that record to has been playing that record on, like, every station we give it to have agreed to play it. And so we just did the release party, and me and Angie performed it at the release party. But this song is powerful, man. It's the kind of song that that people are going to probably use as their get up and go for every day, because a lot of people have been using it. I just talked to Steve Harvey's people the other day, and he finally listened to it. And right now he's going to let us know whether or not he's going to start using that as his morning inspiration. If he does that, that's going to cause us to take off like crazy. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed with that.
Yeah, I tell you right now, I'm going to use it for the women's. We do a women's issue, February, March, Women of Power.
Oh wow!
Okay. I'm gonna use your song. We use a delivery system that plays music while the magazine is twisting and rolling through. I'm gonna use your song in that. I think it's appropriate.
Oh wow! Thanks a lot, bro. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We starting to get a lot of play on it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get all the credits and links to where we're gonna do that, and we'll put that in the magazine. But
Oh,
did
please
you
do. Okay,
did you write
cool.
the song yourself? Did you stroke that?
Yeah, I wrote the song. Yeah, I wrote the song, and Angie, because Angie, it was a crazy story, right? Because she's in the movie, she's in the abuse, she's one of the 6 people that he lured to this college campus because she was only here to do the movie. And I said to Angie, I said, at the time I was working with an artist out of Delaware. I said, Angie, I got this artist who I'm working with. I want to have there's a song I want to put in the movie called "Don't Give Up." I want to put it in the movie. I want to help it promote the movie, to help us promote the movie. So I said, let me know how much you want extra, what you want to charge me to sing on the track. So she said, let me hit a record. So I let her hit a record, and she said, she was in the other room. She came back and she said, listen to me, baby. She said, listen, I researched you before I came and do your movie. She said, and I already know that you sang. She said, so if you want me to do the song, you got to sing on it with me. That's how I ended up. That's how I ended up singing on it. Yeah.
Oh man, Angie's gonna tell you.
Yeah, because I was done with music.
Yeah. Oh wow, you're done. You're done with music.
Oh yeah, because I left out that part of the story. I got signed by Warner Brothers, man. They signed me, just sat me on the shelf for like 5 years, and it really affected my love to want to sing anymore. Oh, wow. And it just really pulled me away from music, and that also helped me get more into the film and the TV stuff. But yeah, I'd only done one song over the past 10, 15 years, and that was the Touch record for the Touch movie.
Is Touch gonna come out?
Well, I'm gonna release it as a documentary at some point because you're gonna see pieces of it inside the Abuse film, but I'm gonna release it as a documentary, which means I'm only gonna use certain portions of it. Because when I first did it, to me, Touch, I've told this many times too. To me, Touch was like a $300,000 learning experience because I didn't really know what I was doing.
Would you go back and remake it now? Now that you've had the experience, go back and redo it?
Well, no, I wouldn't want to redo it because, like I said, I got enough footage where it's dope, especially now with technology. I can edit it enough to make it look good enough to put it out as a documentary. I don't think I could put it out. Matter of fact, I know I couldn't put it out as a feature, but I could definitely put it out as a documentary, and that's what I would do. I would release it as a documentary because there's 4 people in it who gave us their real life stories. The girl, Miss Desi. She's on one of the biggest. Well, her gospel radio show is going to be syndicated out of Philly, but it's going to be syndicated in a bunch of different markets. She was abused as a child. She sat down, gave us her story. It was her, a girl named Keisha, a guy named Red Hackett. He was one of the 8 guys one of the 10 people that Oprah had on her show, men who were abused. Mm-hmm. He gave me his story, and the last one was Keon Dooling. Keon played in the NBA for 14 years. Mm-hmm. And Keon's story was those are the 4 people. So I'm going to release it as a documentary and feature their stories and some of that acting stuff that we shot. We're going to just put it in black and white as like reenactments and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But that's how I'm gonna release it. I wouldn't want to release it as a film like I had planned on before. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but I'm eventually put it out.
Or Tykeem, as we wrap down, we here at King Conversation off the bench, we always talk about getting up and going to do what it is you want to do, what you've been called to do, and it sounds like you were definitely in the calling and in space.
Yeah.
What message would you give to the kings out here who are tinkering with making moves like you or having tapped into their creative side or their message or their passion? What would you say to them listening to this show?
Man, listen, like I said in the Don't Give Up song, man, I don't care what nobody say to you, man. People gonna always try to pull you the hell down, man, but you just got to really persevere through it. The advice I would give to you, man, if you got a concept or idea you want to do something, go ahead and do it. Because one thing I'm learning, this time thing is going by so fast. Listen, Father Time is undefeated. Mm-hmm. So I tell people all the time, man, if whatever you're going to do, man, just go ahead and do it. And even if you think that you're not going to be successful, just do it just so you'll know that you'll be able to say at some point in your life, listen, I tried it. I gave it a shot. You know what I'm saying? But it's no guarantee that you're going to be successful. You know what I'm saying? But just trying something that you say you want to do. I tell anybody every day, man, just go for whatever it is you want to do, man. Just give it a shot. Like I said, it's no guarantee that you're going to make it, but just give it a shot. And don't let nobody hold you back. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. I mean, we all down here on this earth, man, and we all got opportunities to be able to live out our dreams and be able to go to that next level. And I tell people all the time, man, I've done so much stuff. And I've done things like whenever I got family reunion, all my family come when they know I'm going to be there. Because nobody in my family has ever done none of this stuff that I've done. You know what I'm saying? So, and every time I go, they ask me, oh man, give me some advice on how I can do this, or can you help me with this? Or, I want to do this, and I never thought I could until I saw you do this. So that's why I want to meet you at the family. There's people I met in my family that I never known. I'm talking with your friend reunion, like about hundreds of them came because they knew I was going to be there, and they just wanted to just pick my brain. And I don't mind them doing that. I love giving people the game on how to get to the next level. I love doing that, man. It's my passion. So the advice I would give you, man, I don't care what nobody tell you, man. Listen, follow your dream, and if it's not a dream, even if it's just a hobby, just go ahead and try it. You know what I'm saying? Because just do it before you're too old to physically be able to do it.
That's what's up. Brother Tykeem, thank you for coming on. Y'all make sure you follow him on Instagram at Terrence Tykeem, Tykeem. We'll have a link in the show notes. And again, the Abuse is coming out soon, 2023, spring, you said.
Yeah.
And go find him on YouTube and Amazon and go back and watch his other movies. Support this brother and all his efforts. And the platform is always open, good brother. If you got something new you want to come on, just let me know and we will talk about it. I appreciate you.
Oh, you can count on me having me back, bro. That's for sure. When I drop the film, I want to come back again.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, y'all. And as always,
and the song is out already. The song is out. So go to YouTube and all the streaming platforms. Don't give up. Me, Tykeem featuring Angie Stone.
Yep, we will have that link in the show notes. I did listen to it multiple times. With that, as always, I'll leave you with this. If you can reach your dreams with a step ladder, then they're probably too low.